when I go to a conference that has a lot of blind people at it, I'll put up a transmitter over each of the meeting room doors and then walk people through the hall with a receiver, and they say, this is the Saskatchewan room, and the next one says this is the Prince Edward Island room, and this is the Ontario room, and so you're in Toronto in a hotel that where these people are Canadians, and boy, this is something because they always had to have somebody show the which one is the Toronto gathering, and so they get to experience it on a scale where it is clear that this is an orientation system unlike anything they've ever had before. And they always invariably say, boy, this would be wonderful. I've been defending this thesis for like 30 years, and I'm used to all the questions. I'm used to, well, why don't you do this with the GPS? Well, what, you get used to all those questions and you already have them answered over and over again. Why don't you bury a coil in the ground that broadcasts an FM thing like they have in Carlsbad Cavern? Well, it turns out that you can't get any directional information from that. And so you say, well, gee, I thought those things were line of sight. You don't want that, do you? I said, yeah, you sure do. You want to know where the fucking sign is. Which one is the men's room? I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Why don't they use Braille? Okay, so you're standing out in this cavernous hall at the airport, and the sign says the baggage counter is this way. How in the fuck do you find the Braille sign to read it? And if you've done that much, why do you even need the goddamn Braille sign? You don't need a Braille label on a telephone. When you find a telephone, it's a telephone. You say, oh, this says telephone. It must be a telephone. I mean, it's those kinds of things that's the disadvantage of being smart, is that you have to hide your disdain for somebody who doesn't understand that Braille, you say, well, only 15% of the blind people even read Braille, and it's of no use at a distance, and, stuff that it is now second nature to you. But you have to be careful because at one time you were just as stupid as they are. Yet, I might have asked, why don't you just use Braille when I started?
How narrow is the
whatever you want to make it.
beam? Okay, so in other words, I could point to whatever
Absolutely.
you use meters, I would use feet. I can point to 6 feet between the men's room and the women's room doors, and by the angle of my hand, know I'm headed toward men's room versus
Yeah.
women's room.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
Also, the thing keeps talking to you, and if you get out of the range, it'll quit talking.
Okay, but I'm thinking, suppose I'm 25 feet from the men's room, then would it say?
All right, you come in. If you
men's
come in from this side, it'll get the one that's on that side first,
room? All right.
and lock to it, and may miss the other one if you're sweeping fairly fast. But then when you sweep back, it'll be the other one first.
All right.
I mean, you get very good at this very, very quickly. I mean, the guys that try it out, by the time they've had 5 minutes with it, they know how to use it. There's no training. You say, well, now what you do is you push and I mean, for example, one of the tests is involved with the Caltrain station in downtown San Francisco, near the Yerba Buena Gardens. Okay, the Caltrain station is the best outfitted permanent installation station that there is in San Francisco, and it's essentially perfect. That when you walk up anywhere near the building from the outside, you're told that this is the east entrance, and you go around the other side, and now you're at the north entrance. And very quickly, because most of the people who are going to be doing this test are very smart people, and they know that the east entrance is here and the north entrance is here. That tells them something about the lay of the land that a lot of people don't get. I mean, visual people get it instantly because you can just see that this one's over here and this one's over here. But now they've suddenly said, oh, well, gee, I understand about this. So I came out this door, And I walked out to here, instead of going back to that door, I can go into this door because they have formed what's called a cognitive map of the place. And so the testing showed, which we all already knew, that blind people can make cognitive maps from this kind of information. So, oh, gee, I never thought a blind guy would be able, those are the kinds of things that you are fighting all the time and that are just make you crazy.